Good morning everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So I'm just starting off on the daily just for actually method in my madness on the daily. But there is a hanging man here, and this hanging man on the daily is, we can argue many points here, but the reality is we are waiting for the Fed. So I don't read too much into it, but what could be setting up here is strong move down, flag, second leg down, which would target this underside. You can see this really strong zone of support down here at 18,071. Oscillators have separated for the upside, and they're also starting to separate for the downside, so there's nothing much to read in there. But we are waiting on the Feds, and then you've got this hanging man in this zone of resistance, and that is between 18,681 and 18,791. Now when we come down to the levels that we are interested in, and if you start with the 8th hour, picture changes ever so slightly. You have a strong move up and you have consolidation. We also have a double bottom in play. There's the neckline, which I spoke about last week. So nothing really actually moves on. We just got a gap close. It is interesting because the S&P 500 also had an attempt at a gap close, which didn't really work out. But we'll get to those in the lower time frames. Oscillators at the moment not favoring the bulls, looking like it's going to round and drop, but I suspect we are going to be waiting for the Feds. I don't think we're going to be doing much until the Feds come out with their song and dance. So drop down to the 3 hour, nothing really changes. You can see we have broken up above the moving averages last week, and it was quite volatile. Pretty glad I wasn't trading last week. It looks a lot more volatile than what the S&P 500 was, but there would have been an opportunity at the gap here. We'll have a look at that on the lower time frames. But other than that, I don't think there would have been much structure. It would have been a difficult week to trade. Okay, so let's just look at today. I don't think today's worth even bothering with, to be honest. I think you're probably going to just continue ranging. You may get to 18,791, and you may also drop as low as 18,547 or 18,550. But personally, I think you're going to have this kind of structure that you had yesterday: up, down, range, up, down. So nothing really in there. But if we look at last week's, you can see here's the gap. First attempt at the gap wasn't clean. You can see we closed below it. So I would have been expecting another move down, and you've got it here. Probably got it on the 15 minutes. There's the first attempt, which wasn't clean. Second attempt was very clean. You see two tails on there, and then a nice big engulfing bar, which would have been your entry point. So the entry point would have been at around 1 o'clock on the 11th of September. That would have been the only opportunity I would have seen, which is the same as what it was on the S&P 500. And then you had another opportunity the following day, coming down to test this level of 18,386. So the levels we looked at 2 weeks ago were definitely levels to be playing last week. So for today, there are gaps below. There's a gap right here at 18,550 as well. So I'm really not a fan of trying to trade this before a rates decision. So the forecast is for a 0.25% cut. If that happens, it's pretty much going to be as expected, and nothing gets priced in already. It might get a little blip up, but I don't think it's going to be major. If it's more than that, let's say it's 0.5%, then you're probably going to get a really strong break to the upside. And if they don't increase rates, that hanging man is going to come into play, because I think we're going to fall fairly rapidly for the levels below that we have on the chart at the moment. So I think patience is key. There's also a bit of divergence here on the hour. You can see there. Hang on, let me just double check that. I lied, it's not divergence. It looked like a double top, but price is also slightly low, so ignore that comment. But we're probably just going to range, to be honest. Either going to range on the upper end and the lower end of yesterday, or we're going to tighten the range and just sort of range where we are until tomorrow evening. So it's going to make trading very, very difficult on the DAX, because we're not going to move until we see what the Feds are giving us. So yeah, so sit on hands is my advice, and just wait and see. Hope that helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.